away from the defense because they will get out in transition. And Kelsey Mitchell doing what she does.
3 months ago, nobody would have believed it. The Indiana Fever, yes, the same team that couldn't buy a winning season for nearly a decade, just pulled off something wild. For games over 500 for the first time since 2015, and they did it without Caitlin Clark on the court. But that's not the shocking part, because while the spotlight stayed fixed on Clark's absence, something much bigger happened. In one single game, the Fever broke 4 franchise and league records, and it wasn't Clark, Boston, or Mitchell leading the story. It was 2 players who weren't even on the roster a few weeks ago.
Wins in a row, a season high. Just how have you been able to find that rhythm over this stretch?
I think it's been about we've had some practices, and I think practicing has definitely tuned us up, fine-tuning as far as the details.
And when you hear what really went down inside American Airlines Center, you'll realize this team may have just become something no one expected. A legit WNBA contender. August 1st, Dallas, Texas. The Fever walk into American Airlines Center with momentum, but without their star. Caitlin Clark's been sidelined for 6 straight games, still nursing that groin injury from mid-July. No clear return date. No backup spotlight. Across from them, the Dallas Wings, led by rookie phenom Paige Bueckers, hungry to snap out of an ugly stretch after dropping 8 of their last 10. They're playing on the Mavericks court, with the lights brighter than usual. It was supposed to be Paige versus Caitlin. Instead, it felt like a trap game. One Indiana wasn't supposed to survive. But from the opening tip, it was clear. The Fever didn't come to survive. They came to make a point. No hesitation, no safety net, no excuses. They came out swinging like a team that had already buried the old narrative and was ready to write a new one. With Clark on the bench, someone had to lead. Kelsey Mitchell didn't wait for an invitation. She grabbed the moment from the opening minutes, attacking the rim, creating separation off the dribble, and hitting threes like she had something personal to prove. Her confidence was loud. Her footwork was sharp. Every possession screamed the same thing. We're not here to hold the line. We're here to win this game. She finished with 23 points on 9 of 19 shooting. Another 20-plus game in a stretch that's made her one of the most dangerous scorers in the league since the All-Star break.
The 100 win over Phoenix. Stephanie White called that a big win. They were outstanding. Mitchell,
Come on.
The former Dallas Wing, Natasha Howard.
No.
And it wasn't just what she scored. It was when she scored. Momentum-killing mid-quarter runs. Mitchell snuffed them out. Scrappy Dallas comeback in the third. Mitchell pulled up from deep and stopped it cold. She didn't just fill in for Clark. She took ownership of the entire tempo. She ran the offense like it was hers. Because in that moment it was. And that leadership. It turned contagious. While Mitchell was setting the pace, Aliyah Boston and Natasha Howard were quietly making WNBA history. Both posted stat lines that would be impressive on their own.
This season, in her 8th year, she also has a couple of 30s. And Mitchell trades the 3.
Now have a little bit of an advantage in the paint, and they need to keep doing that.
That time, Dejanay went for the steal, and Mitchell kept it away from her. Would not have taken that call so gently, shall we say.
Double-digit points, double-digit rebounds, 5 assists, and at least 2 steals. But here's the part nobody expected. They did it in the same game. That's never happened before. Ever. In the entire history of the WNBA, no pair of teammates had ever hit those numbers together in one night. Until now. Boston dropped 12 points, 11 boards, 5 assists, 3 steals, and a block. Calm, efficient, surgical.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing with Aari is that she's dependable. And she's dependable, not always for production, but she understands the impact that she can make in the game, and she understands how to do it.
Howard responded with 11 points, a career-high 16 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, and a block. Pure force. Together, they controlled the paint like it belonged to them. Every miss turned into a second chance. Every help rotation ended with a tip pass or a blocked shot. But beyond the numbers, they were the anchor, physically dominant. mentally locked in, and in complete sync. Dallas couldn't go inside. And when they tried, Boston and Howard made them regret it. Aari McDonald wasn't even supposed to be here. She started the season and signed. No roster, no role, just waiting for a phone call. That call came on June 25th, when the Fever offered her a rest-of-season contract after a short stint on a hardship deal.
For that nice jumper.
Bueckers again, another double-digit game, 6 in the quarter. Here's Bibby, launches, buries the 3.
Just weeks later, she's not only running the offense, she's changing the team's entire identity. Against Dallas, McDonald put up 15 points, 6 assists, and controlled the pace like a veteran floor general. But the stat sheet only tells half the story.
Go to the basket here, but you got to go up strong right there.
It was how she played, pushing the tempo, picking her spots, knowing when to pass and when to take over. Her instincts were flawless. Her confidence, unshakable. The game before, she'd already dropped a career high against Phoenix. This wasn't a one-off. This was a trend. And here's the part that stunned everyone. Aari just became the 3rd fastest player in Fever history to reach 150 points and 50 assists, joining elite company with Caitlin Clark and Tamika Catchings. She went from unsigned to essential in less than a month.
You signed Chloe Bibby to a rest of season contract today. Just what impressed you about her on that 7-day and those 2 games she put in?
Well, number one, just the way that she fit in right away. She gives us a different look.
And inside the locker room, teammates are calling her a blessing in disguise. They're not wrong. Chloe Bibby wasn't a headline signing. She wasn't even supposed to be part of the long-term plan. But the moment she stepped on the floor, everything changed. In limited minutes, Bibby did one thing perfectly. She hit shots. Big ones. Timely ones. Shots that opened up space.
Obviously, Aari, you've only joined this team mid-season, officially on a full contract now. Congratulations. But just the impact that Aari has had overall, how do you feel like?
Oh, it's unbelievable. This is our blessing in disguise. We always tell her that we appreciate her, seriously.
Killed momentum and shifted energy. Against Dallas, she knocked down 2 huge threes. And just like that, the Fever had a new weapon. Not a star, a specialist. And here's where it gets crazy. Bibby became the first Fever player ever to hit multiple 3-pointers in each of her first 3 games with the team. That's a franchise record, and it didn't happen by accident. She understood the system immediately, knew where the spacing would be.
Watch the attention Boston gets. Opens up a lot for the guards. Here's Boston. Bueckers had nothing she could do.
And made herself a threat every time she caught the ball. Head coach Stephanie White said it best. She gives us a different look from that forward position. We haven't had that. Bibby's quick trigger forced defenders to step out. That space. It gave Boston more room to operate. It opened driving lanes for McDonald. It unclogged everything. And after just 2 games, the Fever gave her a rest-of-season contract. That's not a reward. That's recognition.
Cunningham completes it.
That's what Indiana does better than anybody in the WNBA.
Winning without Caitlin Clark was already impressive. But what the Fever did in Dallas went way beyond just picking up another W. They shattered 4 records, some franchise, some league-wide. And they did it all in a single night. First, Aliyah Boston and Natasha Howard made WNBA history by becoming the first teammates ever to each record at least 10 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 steals in the same game. That's not a stat line you stumble into. That's domination on both ends of the floor. Second, Kelsey Mitchell continued her red-hot streak, notching her 13th 20-point game of the season, the most in the WNBA since the All-Star break. She's been a scoring machine, quietly powering this team every single night. Third, Chloe Bibby hit multiple 3-pointers for the 3rd straight game, something no other Fever player has ever done in their first 3 appearances. In fact, the last time someone came close, 2008, Bibby walked into this team and made instant history. Fourth, Aari McDonald became the 3rd fastest player in Fever history to reach 150 points and 50 assists, trailing only 2 names you've definitely heard of, Caitlin Clark and Tamika Catchings. Let that sink in. From unsigned to elite company, in just a few weeks. None of this was luck. None of it was a hot streak. These were defining moments, individual performances that reshaped what people thought this team was capable of. 4 records in one night? That's not a good game. That's a turning point. This one wasn't just about numbers. It was about energy. Something clicked.
Finding ways to get wins, and that's going on some scoring bursts. That's being able to rely on multiple players, getting stops when needed, making adjustments and continuing to grow. I mean, this is a group that's been resilient all season long, and I think that we have such quality depth that we can rely on one another, and rely on one another in certain moments.
You could feel it in the way the Fever moved, talked, celebrated. No hesitation, no confusion about roles. Just a team that looked free. And here's what makes it interesting. This shift didn't just happen. It came after a quiet roster overhaul. DeWanna was waived. Aari McDonald and Chloe Bibby were brought in. And suddenly, the pieces fit in a way they hadn't before. Mitchell said it herself after the game. She called McDonald a blessing in disguise and emphasized how the team had been through a lot. Injuries, roster shakeups, changing roles. But through all of that, the new additions brought clarity and chemistry. You don't say something like, "She just gets it," unless something has changed behind the scenes. McDonald's leadership, Bibby's shooting, Howard and Boston growing into twin anchors. Every role player contributing with zero ego. The vibe is different now. This team used to look like Caitlin Clark and 4 people trying to keep up. Now, they look like a unit. And the truth is, Mitchell's comments about stepping up when certain players weren't available felt like more than just support. They sounded like a quiet statement about the new identity this team has finally embraced. It's not about one star anymore. Now imagine adding Caitlin Clark back into this lineup. Not as the savior, not as the only answer, but as the final piece of a team that's already figured out how to win without her. The Fever just built a foundation without their franchise player, something most teams can't do. They found floor spacing in Bibby, leadership in McDonald, consistent scoring in Mitchell, frontcourt dominance in Boston and Howard. And now, they're not waiting around for Clark to carry them. They're preparing to let her elevate what they've already become. This isn't about easing her back in. It's about slotting a generational passer into a system that's already clicking. Imagine Clark drawing defenders and kicking to Bibby for a wide-open 3. Or finding Boston inside, surrounded by space. Or running the break with McDonald as her backcourt partner. That's not just dangerous, it's unfair. And here's the wild part. The Fever aren't just better, they're deeper. They're more balanced. They've learned to win when things get uncomfortable. They've discovered new voices, new weapons, new belief. So when Clark returns, it's not about survival anymore. It's about dominance. The Fever are no longer just Caitlin Clark's team. They're a contender, with or without her. But with her, 2025 might be the year this franchise flips the entire script. For games over 500, for records broken in one night. 2 new faces who weren't even on the radar just months ago. And now, they're rewriting the future of a franchise. Kelsey Mitchell is scorching. Boston and Howard are making WNBA history. Aari McDonald's leading like a vet. Chloe Bibby's knocking down clutch shots like she's been here for years. And Caitlin Clark? She's still coming back. This isn't the same Indiana Fever team we saw at the start of the season. This is a team that knows who it is. A team that just proved it can win without its superstar, break records without the spotlight, and shift the entire narrative in one night. The league better pay attention, because Indiana just became something nobody expected. A problem. If you've got the Fever, drop a comment down below. Let us know which moment hit hardest, and how far you think this team can go. Don't forget to like this video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's next. Because if this is what Indiana looks like now, wait till they're fully loaded. This game was supposed to be the showdown. Caitlin Clark versus Paige Bueckers, 2 of the most hyped rookies the WNBA has seen in years. But while Clark watched from the sidelines, Bueckers showed up and showed why she's being taken seriously. She dropped 22 points on 7 of 14 shooting, added 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals. Efficient, composed, clinical. She was the only Dallas player to reach double digits. While Indiana walked away with a win, Bueckers earned respect. She was the only reason the Wings stayed close. Her mid-range jumper? Pure. Her decision-making? Already veteran level. But here's what hurt Dallas. She had no help. No rhythm around her. No second option when the pressure rose. It's not that Bueckers didn't perform. It's that Indiana was simply deeper. The score might have read 88-78, but the whistle told a different story. Dallas shot 25 free throws. Indiana, just 13. And the reaction online was immediate. Fans lit up social media, questioning the officiating, pointing out inconsistencies, and accusing the Wings, and specifically Bueckers, of getting star treatment. Now to be clear, no official complaints were filed, and no league review has been announced. But it didn't go unnoticed. Even Dallas's own head coach, Chris Clains, appeared visibly frustrated with the crew. Was it bad calls? Smart flopping? Just bad luck? Whatever the case, it lit a fire under Indiana. Instead of backing down, they locked in. Defense turned tighter. Ball movement got sharper. And by the fourth quarter, it didn't matter what the whistle said. The Fever had already taken control. While Bueckers held her ground, another Wings star completely disappeared. Dejounte Carrington, the reigning most improved player, had a night to forget. Just 4 points and 5 turnovers. But the numbers don't even capture how rough it looked. Missed shots, rushed decisions, mental errors. In the third quarter, she launched an off-balance attempt with 20 seconds left on the clock, and fans audibly groaned. This wasn't just a cold night. It was a collapse. Carrington's struggles became a domino effect. Dallas needed her aggression, her energy, her ability to break down defenses. Instead, her mistakes fueled Indiana's transition attack. Every errant pass became a fast break. Every miss led to another run. It's not all on her, but her off night turned into Indiana's advantage. In a game filled with new names and headlines, one player quietly dominated like she's been doing it for years, Natasha Howard. She's a former champion, a 3-time All-Star, and one of the most versatile forwards in the league. But in this system, she doesn't need flash. She just needs impact. Howard's 16 rebounds were a career high, and almost every single one was meaningful. Boxing out against bigger players, out-muscling double teams, starting fast breaks with a perfect outlet pass. She did all the little things that don't show up in highlights, but completely changed the rhythm of the game. While Boston was getting the attention, Howard was anchoring the defense and fueling the offense. No drama, no distractions, just dominance. Let's talk about Stephanie White. When Caitlin Clark went down, most assumed the Fever would collapse. The media even started predicting a slide out of playoff contention. But White did the opposite. She tightened the rotation, simplified the system, and empowered the players who were ready to step up. She didn't build a team around one superstar. She built a system that could survive without one. White deserves serious credit. Her game plans are working. Her mid-game adjustments are hitting. And her player development choices, like trusting McDonald and Bibby, are paying off faster than anyone expected. If the Fever make a deep playoff run, don't just thank the stars. Thank the coach. Talent gets you highlights. Depth wins games. And right now, Indiana might be one of the deepest teams in the WNBA. Think about it. Without Clark, they didn't just stay afloat, they got better. They now have at least 6 players who can score double digits on any night. Their bench contributes on both ends. Their rotations feel smooth, not patchwork. This isn't a team riding one hot hand. This is a team with options. And when the playoffs arrive, that depth means everything. Foul trouble, bad shooting nights, late game situations. The Fever now have answers to every scenario. They're not just a team with talent. They're a team built to last. Let's revisit one moment that's got fans talking. Post-game, Kelsey Mitchell praised Aari McDonald as a blessing in disguise. It was meant as a compliment, but it also felt like something more. Because just weeks before, the team made a quiet but controversial move, waiving veteran DeWanna Bonner. Some fans questioned it, others shrugged. But since then, the chemistry has clicked. Mitchell's quote felt like more than just praise. It felt like an acknowledgement that this version of the team works better. No egos, no drama, just players who understand their roles and bring energy every possession. Whether she meant it that way or not, fans picked up on it. And suddenly, the Fever's transformation doesn't feel like a surprise. It feels intentional. This isn't just about one team. The Fever's rise, with a rookie star sidelined, sends a message across the league. Depth matters. Systems matter. Coaching matters. For too long, teams have relied on their stars to do everything. But Indiana just showed that a well-balanced, well-coached team full of hungry players can outplay talent and break records while doing it. And now that Clark's return is on the horizon, this becomes a problem for every contender. Because Indiana doesn't just have the best rookie in the game. They have a team that knows how to win without her. And that's what makes them terrifying.